The Stack. People, Business, Technology. With Dan Tomaszewski of Everything MSP.
Hello, everybody. Dan Tomaszewski here with Everything MSP. Hope everybody is doing great. We are here at CompTIA ChannelCon event in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am here with my good pal, Greg Jones. How you doing today, Greg? Very good. And I should say that Greg Jones is with Kaseya. I should, add that into the mix so people know. Everybody knows you. It's not, Greg does not need an introduction, right?
Well,
the man.
I wouldn't go that far. But thanks for having me on.
You travel the world, and so
it's definitely put the air miles in.
Yeah, definitely. And so this event's been great. A lot of people. Anything that's jumped out at you over?
I think for me, the main thing when it comes to it is just the engagement the community put together. Sure. Whether that's MSPs or vendors as a whole, really. There's been some incredible talk tracks.
Yeah.
Really not only just about what's happening now in the industry, but it's nice to see the evolution of where the landscape of MSPs, SMBs, SMEs.
Yeah.
So yeah, with some of the big buzzwords going on around AI,
Yeah.
machine learning, but really what's in store for us over the next kind of 18, 24 months,
Right.
which is really good for MSPs to gear up for what's next, really. So yeah, I'm really pumped.
Yeah, I mean that whole evolutionary process. I mean, we, most MSPs, of course, started out as break fix. Maybe some later on became an MSP immediately, but we need to continue to, evolve. What we were yesterday isn't necessarily what's going to be the best thing for today, tomorrow. And so, we have to adapt and change. And if you don't, you're left behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the evolution of most MSPs out there. Certainly, before my time at Kaseya, so when I was on the MSP side of the fence, I went through all that transition in terms of business operation maturity level, from break fix to where we were as an MSP. So it's just the journey. It's just how fast you embrace that, really.
Absolutely. And then, the other thing, too, is, let's face it, many MSPs have been in the industry for quite a while. I've been in the industry longer than I care to admit. It can tell with my bald head. But, we always want something new and fresh. And when we do, adapt and, adapt to what our customer want, it adds new levels of excitement into what we're doing. So it's not the same old, there's new life.
Yeah, I think it's that, it drives that passion again.
Yeah.
Certainly we're seeing a lot from what SMEs want from technology providers now. It's not about speeds or feeds or tech. It's solely there after the business outcomes of where MSPs. Yeah, I'm really pumped about the future. I'm really excited. It's a huge opportunity for MSPs right now. A very, very buoyant part, even though particularly in certain geos we're seeing pullback in terms of economy and skirting on the edge of recession maybe in certain geos, but
Sure.
the MSP landscape is very buoyant and booming ultimately.
Yeah.
We're seeing phenomenal growth at the moment at Kaseya, which that's not about me, flexing our muscles at Kaseya, saying how great are we. I'm using that as an illustration of our success has a direct correlation with what is happening for MSPs.
Absolutely.
Our success is reliant on MSPs, and we never forget that, really. Every pound that an MSP spends with Kaseya, that adds to our growth, and, that's absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's often said that the transportation industry is a good sign of the, what the economy looks like. And I think, Kaseya's success is truly that sign of the success of the MSPs, because it truly is a win-win. It's a partnership.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you have the benefit of traveling the world, and, there's pros and cons, right? And, but when you take a look at what MSPs do, what they're like here in the United States compared to, maybe over the UK or, EMEA in general, what is different? Are there things occurring across the pond that are different than are happening here in the US?
Yes, that's a really interesting question, a good question. it's been a real evolution in terms of the MSP landscape from kind of North America to EMEA in many different ways, really. So if I go back about 3 years ago when we asked the same question, there was probably about a 5-year divide between MSPs in North America being ahead of the curve from the likes of EMEA. But EMEA is really accelerating at a rate of knots, really. And that's due to many different factors, you know, the economy, the requirements from SMBs, SMEs,
Sure.
but also the cross-collaboration of events and businesses from across the globe coming together. Even, for instance, this conference that we're here, you know, here, the amount of MSPs that are coming together globally, sharing knowledge and insights, that really helps business operational maturity level. If I look at kind of the nuances in EMEA, we're seeing certainly a lot of traction around compliance as a service, you know, compliance of regulation really around. And a lot of that is driven from frameworks, guidelines, the likes of, I don't know, NIS2 or DORA or GDPR. You know, if I go back in time, it was the Data Protection Act. There's always something kind of pushing us, but a lot of it now is being mandated that these are not optional changes. Businesses need to adapt, evolve, and do this, because if they don't, it impacts business, meaning a lot of enterprise organizations are having to protect their whole supply chain, meaning not only the MSP has to get on board with compliance, security, and regulation, but if SMBs don't do this, they're losing business from enterprises, which flows right down through the economy. So I think that's a good thing for us, regulation. You know, it's challenging. It's challenging for us all, but ultimately it's pushing the bar for the industry and elevating us. You know, I still think that MSPs don't get the credit that they deserve in the SMB world, SME, publications, press. You know, obviously we are one of the 4, you know, critical services out there behind like police and ambulance and MSP. There's just such an impact on the economy.
I mean, you know, SMBs are the backbone of the country, right? You know, and I'm sure that carries over across the pond too, right? And, you know, so much focus on, you know, enterprise, you know, that, you know, they're the ones because they have so much revenue, but collectively, when you take the SMBs, you know, the services that MSP provides to the SMB market is just invaluable because, you know, they're keeping them running, you know, being efficient, productive, or profitable, you know, and it doesn't happen without that support that an MSP provides.
Yeah, absolutely. And that flows down as well, even when we're looking at it from a business perspective for MSPs. You know, our CEO, Fred Vapola, is a big advocate of changing the unit economics for MSPs forever. You know, we believe that MSPs don't, but also as well, they don't get the profit margins that the likes of legal accountants, solicitors, you know, that arguably they provide a critical services to SMBs, but not as critical as MSPs. Why have they only got a small piece of the pie? And legal and, you know, everything else is up here. It's disproportionate to the level of risk and business operational maturity level. And we will change that. We're changing it at the moment, say 365, but it's going to take a long time for that to become the norm across the globe.
And we guys are, you're you know, trailblazing, right? You know, and I applaud you guys for what you did with say 365, K365, and, you know, pulling in that spreadsheet or the procurement services that like that MSPs need, but also making it more economical and, you know, providing that same access for MSPs. And, you know, I've spoken to so many MSPs that said, you know, that really changed my mind. You know, this collection of services, this overall stack, and facility that economic
yeah, and that for us is absolutely critical. You know, and it's nice to say, it's not just about saying, it's about helping our helping the ecosystem, because looking at our SMBs across the globe, we see the growth on the back end. There's a direct correlation with an MSP success and our success.
Yeah.
And that's why we're constantly looking to continually trailblaze around innovation. We're more than ever into research and development, but also away from products and services. We have an array of multitude of products and business lines, but away from products and services, we do a lot around MSP enablement, how it can support, things outside the scope of arguably some normal vendors out there, which is more around sales, marketing, support, coaching, guidance, advice, really to help drive their MSP business.
It's a win-win, right? I mean, the more that you guys educate the MSPs, the more that you provide them with tools to be more successful. You guys win, they win, and their clients. So it really carries all the way across.
Yeah, it's a true ecosystem. It's certainly not been easy to get to today, where we're at today, and the next 12 months, 24 months, the next 5 years is not going to be easy. We will achieve it. We've certainly dropped the ball along the way. And I'm sure we'll drop the ball again, but we guarantee we'll own it, we will fix it.
We all make mistakes, right? Every MSP out there is going to make a mistake, but it's how to respond and react to it and take ownership. That's awesome, right? That's what makes or breaks it. And just taking a look, you talk about marketing. You guys offer our services, and I think it's undoubtable that the MSPs struggle with the ability to provide quality marketing content to their clients, or to their prospects. Can you tell us a little bit more about our services and what's encapsulated?
Yeah, so it's a really good question. What I see from, I'm privileged. Not only do I get to travel the globe, going to events, I get to work with across the year and speak to thousands of MSPs.
Sure.
And what I can tell you around our fastest growing MSPs across the globe, and we're working with over 65,000 MSPs now. When I reverse engineer kind of the success or growth from our fastest growing partners, it's not necessarily the size of the business or who they have in their leadership team. It's that they have a focus on sales and marketing. That is absolutely key. So I use an analogy of what I see with a lot of MSPs, and I'm not saying, anyone watching this podcast necessarily, but from a lot of MSPs, they spend a long time polishing their speedboat, so to speak. That's their MSP business.
Sure.
They forget to put the outboard engines on to make that boat into a speedboat, and that is sales and marketing. If you look at any successful business across the globe, the relevant vertical, it's they focus on sales and marketing, and that is really key. So in Powered Services Pro, it's really around help and support for MSPs that struggle with this. And it's not easy because that's not their skill set, and we've taken that on board and said, okay, how do we reverse engineer this problem into a success mechanism irrelevant of if an MSP is doing nothing with sales and marketing, whether they have an in-house team or whether they outsource their marketing. So it gives MSPs basically content, campaigns, emails, landing pages. It's totally customized. So it's all automated across different social media platforms. But we also give you guidance and consultancy around that as well. It's very white label. But also the content, you would never use it all. There's too much in there. But it's designed that way. So depending on where an MSP is on their business operational maturity, and how they go to market, whether that's break fix or whether it's true managed services, there's content in there that they can use and and change. Because no longer is sales and marketing about technology or news, speed to feed. We're not talking about, say, products. No SMB. It's a business outlook of that. It's all business outputs. How are MSPs helping SMBs, SMEs achieve their goal, be more successful, and automate as much as possible within their business. That's ultimately where we're going. And also, we give a framework as well with true methods. Luckily that was guided by Gary Peaker and the team. It's been going. He's a legend. He absolutely is a legend. He absolutely is. Not only is he got it with multi businesses himself, getting £1 million. Don't get which side of them on businesses. But he's got hundreds of MSPs across the globe.
I thought you were going to say hundreds of years. we won't let Gary listen to that part. So,
it's not by chance. If you follow the methodology, I'm saying that not only from seeing what goes into it behind the scenes and knowing the process, but also having gone through it on the MSP journey myself. It's not easy. It's not something you take, you undo the box and your business change.
Right.
Or if you follow it, it is guaranteed success.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's easy, but if you can make it easier, then that's what we got to go.
So, I was out for dinner with 2 MSPs last night who use TruePeer, and part of TruePeer uses some of this methodology behind the scenes. And they were like me, clever in hindsight. They said, you know what, we wish we'd done it sooner. And it's challenging to go through it, but looking back, you think, I just wish I'd done that sooner.
Yeah.
I guess that's with everything in life.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a plethora of content, the beauty of that is, an MSP might find something once, like, hey, I found this great thing I'm going to use. I'm going to, do some type of mailer, or I'm going to do some type of social media marketing.
Yeah.
And then that's it. There's nothing else, right? Because they're like, well, I don't know where I'm going to get other content from. So when you have that abundance of content, it's easier to be more consistent, because consistency is key when it comes to marketing, right? I mean, that's why when we turn on the TV, we see that same commercial over and over and over, what takes 7 to 10 times to see that, for it to totally connect with the consumer, right? So,
I think that's, that's super important. You're absolutely right. It's a consistency and a marketing message that goes out there to the market. But also as well, it's not only just about the marketing aspect. A lot of MSPs think, well, if I do the marketing, it's going to just change my business overnight.
Yeah.
Marketing is only the top of the funnel, really. So once that activity draws people into the business,
right,
it then needs to be followed through with a sales process. And that is what we make sure that MSPs have in place. With all of our solutions, can you process the demand when it comes? What does that look like? But then taking that down into the business once they get quit buying, can you service that client, or you automate things as much as possible? So it's taking through that whole process, really, which is key, because it's great putting stuff out to market, consistency.
Yeah.
But once it comes in, you need to be able to deal with it and ultimately deliver on your promise.
Right.
Yeah,
you got to convert it and then deliver.
Yeah, show value, drive them towards their end goal, their output, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
So we go beyond, helping MSP really understand their target customer profile, not just what size of business are they looking for, what vertical, but, beyond that as well.
Yeah.
Geographical location, what behavior and characteristics of those businesses, because what we're trying to do is get MSPs to understand that, one, all business is not good business.
Right.
What they're looking for is the businesses that are not lifestyle businesses. Because if you're transacting with just lifestyle businesses, they are happy with the status quo.
Right.
And it'll be a race to the bottom always on price. What you're looking for is the businesses that have hopes, dreams, aspirations. They're the ones that are challenging the status quo, and will pay more if you can help them. You're here with technology, you want to get here to get to this number. That's what it looks like in technology.
I mean, in a perfect world, you could drive by a business and they've got a sticker on the door that says "Get it," right? It doesn't work that way,
absolutely. And ultimately, it's like anything in life. It's a lot of drugs,
right?
A lot of play.
Exactly. So as we wrap up, is there any parting words, any pieces of advice that you'd like to share to our audience?
I think for me, it would be, engage with your vendors out there. We all know that on average MSPs transact with about 70 different vendors. Vendor fatigue is challenging. Start looking at that within your business. If I'm just throwing out, I guess, a few pieces of advice, let me think, what would my advice be? One would be allocate time within your business for all your teams to focus on training for them within the business. I would also say as well, give a set amount of time each week to focus on cyber resiliency, compliance, and
Are there any parting words or words of advice you'd like to share with MSPs?
I guess my first would be leverage your vendors. Typically, MSPs are working with a lot of vendors. Right, vendor fatigue is challenging out there. But leverage those relationships. A lot of vendors out there say that they are a strategic partner of many MSPs. Will challenge that. Call your vendor and say, how can you help support my business for ways, products, and services? Whether that's MBF, sales, marketing, advice, consultancy. That would be my key. And then following on from that, I would say start allocating time within the business. A couple of tips really would be divide time for every member of staff, irrelevant whether they're on the leadership team, management team, technical teams. Give them time every single week around training and development. I would also allocate time around cybersecurity, cyber resiliency, just training edge.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're only as strong as your weakest link, and unfortunately, a lot of issues link back to a human, whether that's accidentally or neglect or is maliciously, unfortunately.
Sure.
And I would also say, if you can allocate some time as well around AI, have everybody in the business starting to think about how can we embrace AI more to change some business processes. We are driving AI machine learning more than ever in all of our products at Kaseya. It's a huge focus area for our R&D team. It has been for a long time. We're all about doing more with less, basically.
That's awesome.
It would be my...
So I want to thank you for the Kaseya team for joining our weekly MSP discussion calls. The beauty of it is you guys, number one, fly on the wall. You guys are able to hear, what kind of challenges are out there, within the MSP space, right? So ear to the ground. I'm sure that's great for you guys to be able to get that feedback and, and just, leverage that. But also, each of the guys that joined the call, like you were just on recently, it's just great to be able to hear from you guys and, and you interject where you see fit. Last week when you were on the call, you sharing about your experience as a previous MSP was awesome. And I love when, vendors go to that route, having people on their team that were former MSPs, right? Dan Tomaszewski, the other Dan Tomaszewski is another example, as a former MSP, because you guys get it. The struggles and you see the opportunities that we as MSPs have, and you're able to help us from that perspective. So thank you so much.
No problem. And thanks for having us on. Kaseya, being a Kaseya partner is not just about transaction or buying products. Yes, that's super important. But for us, it's all about giving back to that ecosystem. I can tell you from a leadership point of view, we're challenged all the time from Fred, our CEO, right down is, how is this adding value to the MSP community? From all about Kaseya, if we focus solely on MSPs, empowering MSPs, we will see the growth. So, thanks for having us on. Always happy to share. We'll help MSPs.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time today.
And
for all of you out there listening to us and watching us, thank you so much for being here. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for listening to The Stack.